Um, we are pleased to welcome you to this meeting. So let me introduce you to Mr. Bandara, who is the founder and CEO of Blue Chip Technology Asia. We are present in London, Delaware, Singapore, and Sri Lanka, and Hong Kong also. In this session, we are going to discuss about NEO. NEO is a decentralized open source and blockchain application platform. So it will be a great opportunity for you all to learn more about this. I just wanted to mention before beginning that this session is recorded, and I will now let Mr. Bandara begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Tulakshi. In this session, we are going to look at the NEO blockchain. So NEO is a open source, fully open source blockchain platform that we can build a lot of application on top of this using this technology capability. So here we are going to bring a series of the workshops in the Meetup discussing the NEO blockchain and its capabilities. So in today's session is more toward introduction, like how you can get started, what are the development tools that is available, and how you can write a smart contract, how you can get started with the developments. Very basic things we are going to discuss. So this is being a part of the London Emerging Technology Meetup group. So we are planning to bring every month a lot of new topics, innovative topics in blockchain and other technologies. So this session focused on the NEO blockchain and the importance of that blockchain technology and what kind of the tools that we can use and how we can leverage that platform. And also we have a couple of announcements toward the end of the this session regarding upcoming hackathon competition as well. So NEO blockchain, you can see, is founded in 2014 and it's grown into a first-class smart contract platform. So there are a lot of features built into the NEO. Earlier session we discussed Ethereum platform. So in today's session we are going to look at the importance of the NEO blockchain and what kind of things that we can do, and as a developers how we can leverage the platform and how we can use the features that is available in the platform. So you can see here we have several set of features, things like interoperability, self-signing, decentralized, right? A lot of capabilities are there. The smart contracts rely in the main because the smart contract is the main technology that we can use to build these applications. So you can see a lot of capabilities are there, and they have recently upgraded to the latest platform entry where we can use a lot of capabilities, and it supports multi-language. Normally it used to be one or two language that we need to use to build application, but here we can use C#, Python or JavaScript like language to build the application. So we are going to discuss about those things as well, how we can leverage this application development and how we can build our applications on top of that. So NEO is a unique that is the first public blockchain to adopt dual token mechanism, and it is also having a community-based approach to in voting, how we can get a specific block generated. So you can see separate the right of governance from right of the using the network. That is one of the main feature of the platform. Also, it use the gas fee in order to do a transaction. So you have a certain value that is defined in this particular blockchain. So if you look at the current value, you can search the NEO and you can see current value in different currencies. You can see what's the current amount that is reside. So it is currently 18 GBP, the pounds. So at the moment it's running on that. So you can see the trading happen like with the number of applications and the ecosystem that's going to develop into this, and it's going to build a completely new kind of a environments. There are a lot of other blockchain platforms like this. So in this session, we are going to look at what kind of the platform that we are going to leverage and what are the features that we are going to leverage into this. So here, as I mentioned, you can see token holders can participate and then they can vote on behalf. And then you can see there are two main features. right to vote in election to determine the council members in the community, and also the right to claim gas needed for the NEO network. So there are total 100 million tokens in the circulation that we can leverage, and we can build applications on top of that. So we are going to look at like how we can develop application on top of that. Also, we are going to look at how we can even build applications like DeFi, decentralized finance, the metaverse kind of applications in coming sessions. But here we look at how we can like start with the platform. What are the basic, because each of these different blockchain networks have their own unique features, unique set of tool set, unique set of method to do the development. So we are going to look at and we are going to leverage these features in this session, and we are going to look at both the theoretical and practical side, how we can leverage that. So you can see NEO charge the gas fee. That is for any consumption. Let's say you're going to deploy a contract, then you are going to do some transaction on top of that contract, things like that. So based on that, it's going to charge a certain gas value. And you can see system fee are burned with the network fee distributed into the nodes. So the gas value is needed in a lot of blockchain, the transactions that we need. So when you are doing the practical, you can see how that is consumed when the particular transaction is happening. Then the next key thing is the wallet. So we need to create a wallet account to create transact with the blockchain network of NEO. So there's one application called Neon. So that is the one main the wallet. So there are a couple of other wallets, and the other wallet contributors are there to support this particular blockchain network. So here, let me show the this wallet. So let me log into the wallet. So here you can see I have logged into the wallet application. So here, this one is the wallet that I'm using at the moment. So you can see here is the wallet I'm using. So here you can see a lot of features that is available in this wallet. The activities, we can send, receive money. We can have contacts, news, settings. Then the wallet itself, and you can see the trading values, and also you can see the nodes like the what is the mainnet. So the wallet mainly connect to the mainnet, right? You can create new wallets, you can import here, and we can connect DApps, that means decentralized applications, into the wallet. So at the moment, it's a desktop application that we can manage. When you are working with cryptocurrencies, you can purchase new blockchain currencies, and then you can work in the wallet. And when you are developing application, also application will interact with this wallet to make the certain transactions. So you can build NFT applications, you can build gaming application, you can build DeFi applications, things like that. So you can build a certain application, and then you can build based on that, you can build certain features on top of that. So you can go to this URL that is in the screen, github.com, City of Zion Neon wallet. Then you can get this particular download the wallet. So it's available in multiple languages, multiple platforms. So where you can go to, let me share that URL also in the chat. So where you can download that, and it's available in multiple kind of environments as well, where you can take a look at it. There are multiple way to download this wallet that we can leverage the blockchain application development, right? So you can see a screenshot of the wallet like this. So it will show a kind of a summarized view of the wallet, where we can visually see the more nice looking kind of the graphs and things like that, the gas fee, the total number of views and transaction received and sent, and contacts, like all other necessary information. And also we can connect things like DApps into this when you are building the complete solution. Okay, so next we look at smart contract. So any blockchain network, smart contract is the main kind of a application procedure that we are going to develop to build the certain the application into blockchain. So smart contract is the main program that we need to write in order to build applications, right? So almost all the blockchain networks that use smart contract, but the way we implement is different from one another. So in this session, we are focusing on the Neo blockchain, and we are going to look at how we can use the smart contract development in this. And also, as I mentioned earlier, there's a specific feature in this, which is we can support multiple languages like C Sharp, Python, Java. Likewise, there are multiple language support in this. So where we can see we can use and leverage these multiple languages, and then based on that we can develop. So if you are a Python developer, you can build blockchain application. If you are C Sharp developer, you can build blockchain application. If you are JavaScript developer, you can build blockchain application. But earlier, remember, I mentioned in the Ethereum session where you need to learn Solidity, and then it's a different language. You need to learn the Solidity basics and things like that. But here is not the case. You don't need to learn Solidity, where we can write the smart contract just using C Sharp, just using Python, just using Java. So if you are already a C Sharp developer, you can leverage the set of features that is available in C Sharp, and you can write smart contract, and that's going to run in the blockchain network. So you don't need to learn Solidity in this case, where we use the C Sharp and we can build the application. And they have also built development tools, tools environment that we are going to discuss, that we can leverage, and we can build the application based on that as well. So if you have any questions, of course, you can ask. You can put in the chat, and you can ask any related question. So we discussed a couple of basic things in the application development. So then we look at other tool set that is available to build the application, right? So here we look at the smart contract. So how you can write a smart contract to build the application. So one key thing is we don't need to define on the one language. So for example, in Ethereum, I mentioned we need to use Solidity. But here we can use C Sharp or Python or JavaScript or Java as the language. So if you are already a C Sharp developer, if you already know C Sharp, that you are coming from Microsoft or C Sharp environment, you can just use C Sharp as it is, and you can create blockchain applications, right? That is one of the main feature in this specific blockchain, where you don't need to learn a new language. You just use the existing language, and you build application on top of that, and you deploy to the blockchain. And they have created tools also much more easy to use, where we can use tools like VS Code, Visual Studio Code, which is again open source software, and all the packages are included in the Visual Studio Code, where we can leverage and we can build the application. So in the demo session, I'm going to show all this, how you can run the local version of the blockchain, and how you can connect to mainnet or the testnet, and also how you can create a smart contract, how you can create a wallet, and how we can connect everything together, and how we can invoke a certain functionality in the smart contract. So this is the main tool, and remember, other than this, there are other tools also available. Since the open source community collaborate in different ways, there are other tools also available to the blockchain development. But this is a one main tool that we are going to use in this session, which is called Neo Blockchain Toolkit, that is available with VS Code. So you need to first download the Visual Studio Code. If you are not downloading, you can try to download this software, which is the VS Code, right? Let me share that URL. So you can download this software, which is a really small software, code.visualstudio.com. So from this website, you can download this one. So this is a lightweight code editor. So this is a must. You need to download this. That is a main requirement. You need to download this as a first download. Then you need to also download the .NET Core. .NET Core. So .NET Core is a language extension for Microsoft for open source development. There's a question from Herbert. Can I use Neo if I'm a Fortran or Pascal developer? So at the moment, the supporting the C Sharp, Python, and Java. I think the Fortran Pascal comes more similar to the Java side, the Python side. So you need to a little bit more familiar with maybe the Python language. Then you can easily work on the blockchain. So Python or Java, whichever more suitable, those could be more similar to the Fortran Pascal, but I don't say it's not identical. So you need to learn either the Python or the Java to do that. At the moment, it's not supporting Fortran or Pascal language to build new application. Only these three languages that support it. Any other question, of course, you can ask. You can put the question in the chat. Happy to answer. So you can download the .NET Core version. So the recommended version at the moment is the .NET Core 6. So this is also Microsoft open source version, which is the .NET Core. So you need to download the .NET Core runtime, right? .NET Core 6, right? So that is also you need to download. So this is the open source version of .NET, which is we are calling the .NET Core. So you need to download this .NET Core version 6, 64-bit likewise you can download. And that is also dependency. So you can install that to Linux, Mac, doesn't matter, because all these platforms, everything fully platform independent. You can run in any platform without any issue. It's the same experience you are going to have. So let me share that URL also. So first download the VS Code, then download the .NET Core. So because .NET Core is a dependency that is used to build this application, right? That is the one dependency it's used to build this application. So you need to have .NET Core set up as a practice, as a dependency to build the application, right? Okay. Then after that, we can install the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. So you can install the Neo Blockchain Toolkit. Right, so you can search this Neo Blockchain Toolkit. So from that, you can install this one, right? So let me show the official site. So you can find the official site from here. So this is the official one, right? Which is the right Neo Blockchain Toolkit. So you can download this one. So first you need to download the Visual Studio Code. Then you need to download .NET Core. Then you can download the Neo Blockchain Toolkit, right? So this is out of the box, everything integrated package. It's quite lightweight. It's not like a bigger size. You can download this and we can do all our development using this in the Visual Studio Code. So let me share this tool as well. So yeah, let me share this in the chat. If you have any questions, you can ask. You can unmute yourself, you ask, or you can put in the chat. So far, we look at the requirements. One is the Visual Studio Code, .NET Core, and then this Neo Blockchain Toolkit. Everything is open source, everything is free, everything is cross-platform. So you can run in Mac, Linux, Windows, doesn't matter. You can download, and everything is lightweight. It's I think around less than 200 MB, all the softwares. Okay. So this is one simple mechanism of writing a smart contract. You can see this language is C#. So if you are already familiar with C#, you can see 100% similarity because the language itself is a C#. Even the file extension we call .cs, where we can use the C# extension here. But when you are writing it in the blockchain, you know there are certain kind of variables, certain kind of techniques, certain kind of principles that you need to have, because it's mostly a financial related transactions and the different transaction mechanisms that we need to set up. So that's why we need to we need to have all this set up much more effectively. So here you can see here the manifest section, we can give who is the author, like that, who's the responsible person for this the code base, things like that. We can mention all these things, right? So then we can have the other information like manifest information, the standard, but we are following standards, the permissions, the address, like that. Then we can create a class contract, smart contract, and then we can define the main function. So then we can create other functions like that. What are the features that we are going to have? What are the set of the functionalities we are going to have? What kind of calculations? What kind of features that you are going to develop that we can define here, right? So let me show example. So this is just the C# code, nothing else. So you can just create a C# file, and you can start working on the very basic kind of a smart contract just using C#, right? So you can create a C# file in the VS Code, and the file extension is CS, right? So we can create a C# file like this. So here you can see we can create a C# file like this, and then we can define the features, right? So here we can define some of the basic things for this C# file. So you can let's create something, the basic smart contract. So up to here, I think it's clear. We just create the C# file, and we'll define the what we are going to do in this smart contract. What are the features that we are going to develop, right? So here you can see we are using system, right? So you can see it's just like .NET C#. You import a lot of packages, right? So here you can see using system dot component model. So these are some there are some .NET framework, .NET Core framework features, and then we can add the Neo base language framework, because this is running in C# and that is running in the .NET Core. That's the open source version of .NET. And then once it's compiling, that code base is converting into the connecting to the and deploying into the Neo blockchain network. So here we'll create a component model, right, like this. Component model. Then we can create using system dot like this. Then we can define the Neo blockchain features libraries. We can say using Neo like this. Then we can use using Neo dot smart contract. So then in the Neo package we have smart contract dot framework, like this. So we can define like this the Neo functionalities like libraries what we are going to implement. We can define. So there are like certain features that we can add into this. So Neo smart contract framework, and then we can add the native and services. So like this, we can add a certain capabilities that is defining into the Neo blockchain. So we initially add the basic language features, and then we are adding the Neo base capabilities, right? So using Neo dot smart contract dot framework dot native, right? Like this. And the last one is using Neo dot smart contract dot framework dot services, like this. So like this, we can import whatever the necessary packages for this application. Then we can define the scope. If you are familiar with C# language, you know how to define the scope. So we can define the scope using namespace like this, and we can give a name for this particular namespace like this. Then we can start working on our specific smart contract. So we can start working on our specific smart contract. So here in this, we can define some of the basic configurations. So you have seen that in the slide as well, where we need to give manifest like the name, description, like who's the owner, what is the security level, or what is the permission, what is the standards that you're going to follow. So all these things, some are not mandatory, some are mandatory. So we can provide that information, and then we can create the contact class, and we can define those as well, right? So let's look at how we can start with this. So we can give a display name like this. Then we can give the name hello contract. Then we can provide other information which is under manifest extra. Manifest extra. Then we can give the author, right? Author keyword. Who's the author of this code? So this will be added into metadata once you deploy it into the blockchain network. So that is also easy to verify this ownership, who have created the smart contract and what is the purpose like that. It's easy to define the ownership from this. Then we can even define things like other information like the email and description, like additional information. So I just save that, copy that from here. So here we can define things like the email, then define the contract, right? Right, we can define the email, right? Right, then after that, what you can do is we can start working on the our smart contract, right? We can start implementing the smart contract, right? So now we can start implementing our smart contract. So we can say public class, right? Hello contract, right? And it's a type of a smart contract, right? So like that, we can define our smart contract scope, right? So within this, we are going to have our smart contract, right? Within this, we are going to have the smart contract. So what we did so far, we have imported the set of packages. We have imported the set of packages like this, and then we create the namespace, right? We create the namespace, and then we define the set of configurations, and then we have initiated the smart contract, right? So it's a hello contract type inheriting from the smart contract. So if you are from the C# background, if you are coming from the C# background, you might get a better understanding about this because in C# we are doing exactly the same thing. So if you are coming from the C# background, you get a better understanding about this. Then we can create some key terms. So we will create some variables to store our data. Then we create a transaction, and then we can create some functions, right? Then we can create some functions. So we are going to have a couple of functions. So any program, if you know fundamentals of programming, we have variables and we have functions that using variables, we can invoke certain functionalities. So then that function can be used based on the business logic. So we can define a certain logic, and then we can build the functionalities from that. So that's common for any programming language. So here we look at C#, and not only the C#, the Neo blockchain platform. So that's how a little bit more kind of feature, because we have imported from the Neo namespace, which is the Neo framework, native and services. So we have imported from that specific framework. Because of that, we are going to have more additional kind of features adding into this. So here you can see we are going to have create three variables first. So these three variables going to hold this data, right? It's going to hold this data, and also those three variables are going to have we're going to have a transaction variable as well. So here we can see we create three variables. One is the contract storage, the storage, and then as a new contract storage, then the contract metadata and the transaction. So like that, we create three variables. So there are certain data types that is available with the Neo blockchain, so that you need to familiar with because it's not just directly the integer float kind of a data. There are different kind of a data that we are using to store specific values and details like that. So that's why we have this context storage, metadata, and transactions type to hold this information. So after that, we can have a certain actions. We can define a certain action on an event, like a trigger event. So the main purpose of this contract is we are going to have certain functions. So we are going to have a function called change number. We are going to have a function called deploy. We are going to have a function called get number. We are going to have a function called update number. So with that, what going to have? So if you first call the change number, we can change that specific variable into a new number, let's say 20. Then if you call get number, the number will be 20. Then if you call update number, we can update the 20 into a new number like 30. Then again, if you call get number, it will be 30. So everything will be written in the blockchain, right? So that is how we are going to interact. And these applications, we are looking at those features, the main set of the functionalities, right? So as I mentioned, three main functionalities: change number, get number, and update number, right? Update contract based on that, right? So let's look at that. The first one is the change number. So to save some time, I will copy that specific functionality. So here you can see the change number. So this will check first the positive number. So you cannot have negative number. So we'll have a positive number. And then based on that, you can see it's going to save to the storage, and it's going to invoke that function to create the, it's going to save that specific number into the blockchain, right? Then once you have that number, what you can do, we can use the get number method to check that. So we can use the get number method like this, right? Using get number method, we can check that. We can read that value. So let's say we have created 20 into that number, then we can use get number method to check that. Then we can also use update contract to update any information that is up to date into that, right? So we have update contract method to verify and update the data. So that is that update contract method. So where we get the owner information, and then we are going to update the data, right? Then finally, we need to deploy these things, right? We need to deploy this into the blockchain network. So that is the final method we are having in this specific blockchain, which is the deploy method, right? So then we have completed this smart contract. So the final method is the deploy method, where we are going to put the information that's coming in, and it's going to write into the Neo blockchain network. So you can see the couple of functions are there. It's very simple kind of the functionalities where we create some variables to hold a number. Then we can call change number. Let's say it's initially some number, we can change into 20. Then we can use get number method to read that number, right? And we can also use update contact and deploy to update this information and deploy the information. So you can see we can define these business cases. We can define these usages based on this, and then we can easily use this application into the development. So now we look at how we can use this in the Visual Studio Code. So what you can do is you can like use the technology capabilities that is available in the VS Code once you install all this software. So once you install Visual Studio Code with the blockchain, the toolkit, you can see these two icons, right? So one is called Neo, other one is called Entry Visual Dev Tracker. So once you click this, you can see you will get the Neo blockchain set up here. So what you can see here is like you will get the Neo blockchain mainnet and the testnet environments that is will be loaded here. So you can see you will get that connection point into these networks that we can use to connect. Then here in the entry section, you can see it's going to generate and connect this infrastructure. So it's going to have this blockchain networks. It's going to have the wallet. It's going to have the smart contract and all this, right? So you can see you'll get a lot of features in this, right? You will get a lot of features in this. And if you want to start fresh, you can click this create a workspace folder. So create a workspace folder. You can click this to create a new workspace folder that's going to initiate your application development, right? So let me create a new folder, or I can use a folder that is already there. or I can create a new folder as well. So then it will be enable me with the development. You can see it just created the new workspace environment right here. So with the new folder, where we can use all these capabilities much more effectively now, right? So here now you can see there's this option is change, create a new Neo Express instance. Create a new Neo Express instance. So that means it's going to initiate a new local blockchain network, right? It can even connect to the testnet and mainnet with the Neo Express instance. So it's a runtime environment of blockchain, Neo blockchain that can do all the compilation, deployment, everything together, right? It's a runtime environment that can do all these things together. So you can see when you click this, it asks to create instances. So you can create 1 or 4 or like that, different type of instance. Then it asks to save initial file. So we can create. So then you can see it's going to start the Neo Express. And it's going to initiate the blockchains, and it's going to initiate the blocks in the blockchain, right? Like this. And you can see some of the Genesis block. That is the very first block in the blockchain, because we are doing local blockchain first. And then the smart contracts, now it is running. So you can see all the transactions and blocks that is created. And you can click that, then you can see from the block explorer that's running in the local host, right? So you can see all this information here in this. So then you can see it's going to create new blocks, it's going to mine new blocks in the blockchain. Then here you can see we can create a wallet. So you can see where we have this option to create wallet. So where we can give a name, and you can give a password, or you can in this version you can use without a password also. Then you can see that wallet is going to create and it's going to add it here. So with the wallet we can invoke certain transactions for that user, right? So you can see wallet, everything is integrated into VS Code. So because of that, your development make really simplified, where we can use and leverage all these features much more effectively using this. So here you can create the wallet. So this wallet, you can see we can create locally, or we can connect with our wallets. Then here in the smart contract section, you can create a new contract. So you can select create contract, and here you can see it will get a different languages. So you get C#, Java, Python. You get C#, Java, Python. So here you can give a C#, right? Then I can create a contract. So I can give the enter, press enter. Then you can see it's create a contract that the similar one that we just typed. So it's a similar contract that is generated. So it have the update method, get number method, right? Change number method, and all this information, right? Then you can use the Control Shift B. Using that, you can compile this one. So now we need to compile this, right? So what is the name of this? Hello new contract. Hello new contract, right? So then we can compile this using Control Shift B. So you can see we can do the building. So in the status, you can see it's doing building. So that means we are compiling our smart contract. So remember, we can do this in Java, Python as well. So now you can see here, now we can see the our compile contract. So you can see here, I can see my compile contract, hello contract. And here in the bottom, you can see there's a deploy contract option, right? So as you can see how simple and how simplified is, they have created all this tool set, and they have integrated everything together. So you can see wallet, and then we create the contract. Then you can see we build and compile the contract, and now we can deploy the contract. So here you can see it's asking the deployment option. Let's say number 1. Then it's asking the user, who's the user that going to execute this, right? Which user that we can execute, right? Then we can give that initial definition. So based on that, you can see, it's going to deploy it. Let's try again, right? Owner. So we can see it's going to deploy based on that, right? So I think that name is already there. Let's try another name. right? So right, so you can see now it's deployed. Here you can see the deployed transaction. So the contract is deployed right now, right? Right, so now you can see that option is updated to invoke contract. So now we can invoke. That means once deployed, it's running in the blockchain. I have shown the similar one in the Ethereum as well. So now you can click the invoke blockchain, and we can select the contract what you want to execute. And here you can see the list of contracts that we can execute. So here you can see the contract that we have created, which is the hello new contract. Hello new contract have mainly a couple of functions, but our main functions reside in the change number and get number. So let's see, we click change number, then we can give a number, we can select change number. Let's say I give 20, then I can run this step, right? So I can run this step like this. So you can see still status is pending. So we need to wait for confirmation for that status. Once it's confirmed in the blockchain, then we can go for the next step, which is we can check whether that number is saved into the blockchain network, right? So once this is successful, we can again invoke this, and then we can see the status. Once it's confirmed, we can check the new status, and we can check that number as well, right? If you have any questions, you can of course ask. You can put in the chat, and you can ask if you have any questions, right? So like this, you can see we can invoke the contract, and then we can get the features that is available in that particular transaction, right? And if you have any issues or things like that, you can see in the terminal window, right? Everything is visible, and we can fix according to that. So we have smart contracts here, we have wallets here, and we have connecting to the main net or test net that we can connect. And also we can invoke the contracts like this, right? So then we can see the results once it's confirmed, right? Right. Once it's confirmed, we can see the result, and then we can also try another step, which is the checking the number, whether the number is saved as the given number, right? So here we can use the get number method, and then we can run this step, right? So if everything's okay, then we might be able to see the number when is transaction successful. We can see that information whether that number is saved in there, right? So for that, the transaction need to be successful. Then only we can see that information that is running, right? I think one is the person that execute this. Let's go back. Right, it's still executing this one. Right. Let's try one more time. Change the number. Change number. Right. So like this, you can see we can execute a contract. We can build a contract, deploy it, test it, and then we can invoke it. Right. So this is running in the Neo Express, right? That is connecting from here and it's connecting to the testnet. Here you can see that we can execute certain contracts. So this is the one we created, and we can use invoke contract. Now you can see it's confirmed. Now we can get the get number and run this step, right? So you can see here this running local kind of testnet is running in 127.0.0 address. These are running in seed 4, that is the mainnet. So you need to have real currency to transact in the mainnet, but using test currency we can do that. So now you can see I have updated the value. Now you can see the result like this, right? So you can see we can invoke from the blockchain, and we can get the transaction, and we can get the result from that as well, right? So we have completed all the steps, and it's directly working, and it's more simplified also. Everything visually available. That is one of the main feature. So we have created the contract, and then we have compiled it, we have deployed it, and then we have checked the result from that, right? So this practical, there's a like a specific guide is there. So let me share that also. I will share it with the meetup details with the video link. We'll share that as well. So you can also practice this specific guide on the step-by-step way. And if you have any questions, you can ask from that as well. So that guide containing all the steps that is needed to complete this. So we will share this with the meetup recording. So you can also practice these things. And if you have any again questions, you can so you can see we can invoke this get number, and you'll get the result from this as well. So like that, we need to wait until it's confirmed because this running locally, it will consume from the local machine resources. It's a virtual blockchain network. But if you connect to the mainnet, it's the real blockchain network. The same process, so the same contract, we can deploy to the mainnet. It's just by selecting the network, we can deploy it to the mainnet, and we can create a wallet that is containing real neo currency, and then we can deploy into the blockchain. So you can see all these development structures and the tools available in a one environment, and VS Code, and it's quite lightweight. Everything together is included in this, right? And when you are running a Neo Express, it's connecting everything and listening to all the changes like in a real blockchain network. And then we can use these capabilities in our application development, right? So first we need to create the contract, and then we need to deploy it to the mainnet. Right. So we are going to look at those things, right? In this, you can see the Neo Express server. So the Neo Express server helpful to connect everything together and running as a workable server, right? So Neo Express server available in the local, or you can connect to the mainnet as well. So we have look at the demo. Then contract compiling. So you can see Control Shift B. Using that, we can compile, and it will create a compile file, and it will reside in the machine in the bin debug folder. So your project folder containing all this information, the compile details, and you can then get these details from that. Then once you deploy the contract, you can see like this kind of a transaction details, deploy transaction. We have seen a similar file like that where we can get all this contract deployed, and then we can get the information from that. Then this Visual Studio Dev Tracker, that is the tool that we use to track all this information, right? It's the Visual Studio Dev Tracker, where we can see the mainnet, testnet, wallet, smart contract, all these things in the visual form, and we can invoke from the JSON file that we can connect. So the JSON file is the one that we need to invoke. Even this JSON file we can connect with React and other Bristle or any front-end technologies, and we can then build our solution from that. More resources available in the developers.neo.org. So you can go to the official website where we can follow more tutorials, development resources, development features you can follow from the this more resources area. You can go to the developers.neo.org and you can follow these things. And also, finally, I want to highlight the hackathon that is organized by the Neo blockchain. Up to 500K prizes you can get from this hackathon. There are certain categories available in this hackathon. For example, DeFi application, Metaverse application. So let me share this URL in the chat. So you can try participating into this hackathon and you can win a lot of prizes and you can build applications for this. So there are areas like building a DeFi application, Metaverse application, and general application, DAO applications like that. So in the today we discussed mostly the basic things, so which is categorized into the general area. In the next meetups, we are going to define DeFi. So that will be help to build the DeFi application, and then we are going to look at NFT, Metaverse, kind of mostly the Metaverse side of things. So that help to build that as well. So we are going to look at these different areas. So keep register into this. So we'll share these details also in the Meetup group with the video recording and the lab guides, all this information. So it will be helpful for you to look at this and win prizes, also build application on top of this as well. So if you have any further questions, you can ask from, you can write to us. Also, you can see the timeline of the submissions like that. So this, I would recommend you to participate into this hackathon, and a lot of you can learn a lot of new things and you can participate in a lot of new areas in the blockchain space in this competition, right? Okay, so if you have any more questions, you can ask. Then I will share this recording in the Meetup group, and also we will share the labs, hands-on lab, the lab practicals that I did. I will share those files, so you can also take a look at it, and you can also practice this as well. We'll share a Google Drive link with the PDF and also the competition details. So we'll share all the resources. And also next month, as I mentioned, we are planning to have DeFi blockchain development meetup session. So keep tuning into that as well. We'll be sharing meeting recording and everything. If you have any question, you can ask right now. You can unmute yourself, you can ask, or you can put in the chat. Otherwise, we can wrap up and then we can continue to the next session. I'll give 1-2 minutes. If you have any questions, you can ask. We had a question earlier that whether Fortran or Pascal is supported. So at the moment, mainly the C# Java and Python language is supported. So if you are coming from Python, you can use the Python environment. If you are coming from Java or C#, you can use that respective language, right? Okay. So make sure to go through the hands-on practical. So I'll share that with the Meetup recording. And also you can write to us if you have any questions further. We like to support you, help you in the blockchain space. And this is the end of this meetup, and hope to see you soon again in the next meetup. Thank you all, and thank you for joining this meetup.